Now let's talk about political gaslighting, because this has become so normalized we barely even notice it anymore. Politicians make promises on camera, full video, clear audio, no ambiguity. Then later they deny they ever said it, even when you can pull up the video and show them. Even when journalists play the clip, "I never said that. You're taking it out of context. That's not what I meant. You're misremembering." Or they tell you the economy is great while you're struggling to afford groceries. They point to stock market numbers and GDP while regular people can't make rent. And when you say, "But I can't afford to live," they tell you you're not working hard enough. You're not managing your money well enough. The problem is you, not the system. That's gaslighting. They'll also do this thing where they accuse their opponents of exactly what they're doing themselves. Projection at a massive scale. They're corrupt, so they accuse everyone else of corruption. They're lying, so they scream about fake news. They're authoritarian, so they claim everyone else is trying to take away your freedom. It's disorienting by design. When everything is an accusation and a counter-accusation, when everyone is calling everyone else a liar, people stop knowing what to believe. And that confusion, that exhaustion, that serves the people in power perfectly. The media plays into this too. And I'm not talking about bias toward one side or another. I'm talking about something more insidious. They'll take an objectively false statement and present it as one side of a debate. They'll bring on someone who denies established science and give them equal time with an actual expert. As if both positions are equally valid, they call it balance. But it's not balance when one side is dealing in facts and the other is dealing in fiction. This is called both sidesing, and it's a form of gaslighting because it makes people doubt objective reality. If experts disagree, how are you supposed to know what's true? Maybe nobody really knows. Maybe truth is just a matter of opinion. Except it's not. Some things are facts. And treating lies as if they're just alternative perspectives is a way of making people doubt what's real. There's also this thing called sane washing, where media takes extreme or incoherent statements and translates them into something reasonable sounding. Someone says something completely unhinged, and the headline reads, "Leader proposes bold new strategy." They're gaslighting you about what you just heard with your own ears. So why does all of this work? Why is institutional gaslighting so effective? Because humans are wired to trust authority. We want to believe that companies aren't deliberately poisoning us, that governments aren't systematically lying to us, that institutions have our best interests at heart. And when those authorities tell us our perception is wrong, many people will doubt themselves before they doubt the institution, especially when the institution has more resources, more credibility, more power to shape the narrative. Just like with a narcissistic partner, you want to believe they love you. You want to believe they have good intentions. So when they tell you you're remembering wrong, you doubt yourself, because doubting them means accepting something scary, that they're deliberately manipulating you. The same thing happens with institutions. Doubting them means accepting something terrifying, that the systems we depend on are deliberately deceiving us. And what's the impact of all this gaslighting? Exhaustion, confusion, self-doubt. People stop trusting their own judgment. They stop speaking up because they're afraid they're wrong or overreacting or being too sensitive. And when people are exhausted and confused and doubting themselves, they're much easier to control. They don't have the energy to fight back. They don't trust themselves enough to resist. They accept the version of reality they're being sold because it's too exhausting to keep questioning it. That's the goal. That's always the goal. Make you too tired and too confused to see clearly. The real world consequences of this are massive. People die because they trusted tobacco companies. The planet is heating because people were made to doubt climate science. Communities suffer because people were gaslit into thinking systemic problems are personal failures. And it's not just physical consequences, it's psychological. When you can't trust institutions to tell the truth, when you can't even agree on what facts are, society starts to fracture. People retreat into their own bubbles. Everyone becomes suspicious of everything. And that breakdown of shared reality, that's dangerous. Gaslighting at a personal level destroys relationships. Gaslighting at a societal level destroys democracy, trust, and the possibility of collective action.